With the NBA draft happening tonight, I thought it would be a cool idea to go over every single Celtics draft pick over the last 10 years. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's start with the 2014 draft class where the Celtics drafted Marcus Smart and James Young. Marcus Smart had an incredible career with the Celtics. He spent 9 seasons in Boston before being traded for Kristaps Porzingis this season. I can't say the same for James Young, as he had a lot of hype coming to Boston. However, he only played 89 games over 3 seasons and was just really not very good. Next is the 2015 draft class with Terry Rozier, RJ Hunter, Jordan Mickey, and Marcus Thornton. Terry Rozier played 4 seasons with the Celtics and had some great moments, especially in the 2018 playoffs, however, would get traded for Kemba Walker. RJ Hunter did nothing for the Celtics. He played 37 games, and that was pretty much it. Jordan Mickey only played 41 games with the Celtics, but I do remember him being fun to watch when he did play. And finally, Marcus Thornton never played a game with the Celtics. Moving on to the 2016 draft class, where the Celtics drafted Jaylen Brown, Gershon Yabusele, Ante Zizic, Demetrius Jackson, Ben Bentil, and Abdel Nader. Starting with Jaylen Brown, I don't think there's really much to say. He was the best player in this draft class, and he won Finals MVP this season. Although being known for the dab celebration, Gershon Yabusele didn't really do much and only played 74 games with the Celtics. Ante Zizic would never play a game for the Celtics and was included in the Kyrie Irving trade in 2018. Demetrius Jackson would play 5 games with the Celtics before being released. Ben Bentil would never play a game with the Celtics. And finally, Abdel Nader would only play 48 games with the Celtics before being traded. Moving on to the 2017 draft class, where the Celtics would draft Jason Tatum, Semi Ojeleye, Kadeem Allen, and Jabari Bird. Just like with Jaylen Brown, I don't think there's a whole lot to say with Jason Tatum, as he is a NBA champion and one of the best players in the NBA right now. Semi Ojeleye, although being the original Giannis stopper, would not do a whole lot with the Celtics over his 4 years there. Kadeem Allen would only play 18 games with the Celtics. And Jabari Bird would only play 13 games with the Celtics before being released, and I wouldn't look up what Jabari Bird did. Moving on to the 2018 draft, where the Celtics would only draft Robert Williams. Robert Williams was a huge piece to the Celtics, being an elite defender and lob threat. However, he could never stay healthy, and he ended up getting traded to the Portland Trailblazers for Drew Holiday. Moving on to the 2019 draft class, where the Celtics would draft Romeo Langford, Grant Williams, Carson Edwards, and Tremont Waters. Romeo Langford was a pretty big draft bust, as he only played 94 games over the course of 3 seasons for the Celtics, but he would end up getting traded for Derek White, so that's something, I guess. Moving on to Grant Williams, who did save the Celtics season in 2022 in Game 7 versus Milwaukee. However, he didn't really do a whole lot in his 4 seasons with the Celtics, but he was a solid role player. Carson Edwards would only play 68 games with the Celtics, as he was never really able to find a role. Same thing with Tremont Waters, as he only played 37 games with the Celtics, but he was a G League MVP. Moving on to the 2020 draft class, where the Celtics would draft Aaron Nesmith, Peyton Pritchard, and Yam Madar. Aaron Nesmith was never really able to find his footing with the Celtics over the course of 98 games. However, he would end up getting traded to the Pacers for Malcolm Brogdon, and he's become a pretty good player over in Indiana. Moving on to Peyton Pritchard, who has become a very solid backup point guard coming off the bench, as he just brings energy and chaos anytime he's on the court, especially when it comes to buzzer beater situations. And finally, we have Yam Madar, who is a 2nd-round pick who only played in like 1 summer league with the Celtics, and he currently plays in Turkey, and I don't think he's ever going to come over to the NBA. Moving on to the 2021 NBA draft, the Celtics would select Johan Begarin. Begarin is kind of like Yam Madar, where he only played like 1 or 2 summer leagues with the Celtics. However, he is still currently playing over in France, and I don't think he's ever going to come over to the NBA. Moving on to the 2022 NBA draft, where the Celtics would select J.D. Davison. J.D. Davison has only played in 20 games with the Celtics over the course of 2 seasons, and I really don't see him becoming really anything in Boston, but he is an NBA champion, and you can't take that away from him. And finally, we have the 2023 NBA draft, where the Celtics would select Jordan Walsh. Jordan Walsh would only play in 9 games for the Celtics this season. However, I do think he has potential to be a legitimate role player for the Celtics team, but we'll have to see what happens. But that is it. That is every single player the Celtics have drafted over the course of the last 10 NBA drafts. And with the 2024 NBA draft happening today and tomorrow, we'll have to see who the Celtics take with the number 30 and number 55 picks overall. But that is it for this video. Thank you everybody for watching.